Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our English Voice webinar. And I'm joined by the beautiful lady, Tammy.
Hello.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so wonderful. For today, we are going to learn about time. So I want us to look at some lesson aims for today. And here they are.
Oh, sorry, we're just having a little technical problem. I'm sorry. Just one moment. So sorry. I can't.
Okay, so we are going to now look at the lesson aims, and here they are. Great. Now, as I said, we are going to learn about time, and the lesson's aims are how to say different time-related phrases, and the second one, how do you use the following phrases: on time, in time, at the end, and in the end. So those are our lesson aims for today. Now we are going to begin with our first word, and that is on time. So what does on time mean? It means to arrive, happen, or be done at the correct time, or not early and not late. So, Tammy, have you ever been on time for anything?
Thankfully, yes. I'm normally on time. So I might say that I am on time for work. So it means my work starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm on time. So I arrive exactly at 8 o'clock.
And I guess no one wants to be late. We all have to be on time for work.
We do.
Thanks, Tammy. And the second phrase is in time. Now, in time means to be early or at the right time. Now, Tammy, do you have any idea how do we use this phrase in time in a sentence?
Okay, so I could say that I'm in time to catch my plane if I'm going on holiday. That means I have arrived with enough time so that I can catch the plane. I'm probably a little bit early. I'm not very early, but a little bit, and I'll be able to catch my plane. I won't miss it.
Ah, that is fantastic. Thanks, Tammy. And now our third phrase. So our third phrase is full time. Now, this phrase relates to work most of the time when we talk about something that is happening or working for the whole of the working week and not only part of it. So I could be a full-time manager or a full-time boss. What else can we be full-time for, Tammy?
So you can be full-time for many different jobs. So you could be a full-time teacher, a full-time doctor, and it can also mean that you maybe do something for the full amount of time as well. So I watched the film for the full time would be the same thing. You've watched all of it.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Okay, and on to our next phrase, which is part-time. So we learned about full-time. Now we are speaking about part-time. This is if you work part-time or do part-time work. You work for only some of the day or the week. So I could say I'm a part-time teacher only on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tammy, do you have another example of how to use part-time?
Yes, and so another example is you could be a part-time doctor. So maybe you only work in the week and you don't work at the weekend at all. Or maybe you work less hours. So maybe you work 20 hours, which probably would be part-time compared to somebody who may work 40, which would certainly be full-time.
Okay, thanks, Tammy. That was great. I hope everyone is listening to these examples. Okay, now we are going to move to the next one, which is at the same time. As you can see from the picture, these people are doing something at the same time. Now, what does it mean? If two things happen at the same time, they happen together. Now, in the picture, as you can see, all of them are using their mobile phones at the same time, or they could be texting at the same time. Is there another way to use this phrase, Tammy, at the same time?
Yes, it doesn't have to mean that you were all together at the same time. For example, at the moment, this is true, my parents are on holiday, so I could say, I am working at the same time that my parents are on holiday. So we don't have to be together.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely. They're on holiday. I wish I was on holiday.
Me too.
Okay, wonderful. Now, the next one is in a month's time, 30 days from now. As you all know, there is 30 days in a month or 31 days, depending on which month. So I could say, in 30 days time or in a month's time, I will be traveling to Paris.
Ooh.
Or in a month's time, I could be studying for an exam. Is there another way to use this phrase, Tammy?
Yes. So maybe you could say in February. So February is the 1 month that's a little bit short. It's 28 to 29 days, but you can still use it for that because it is considered a whole month. So I could say, instead of saying at the end of February, I'm going to start a new job. I'm not going to, but I could say the same. In a month's time, I will be starting a new job.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's interesting. Great. So now, this one is one of my favorite phrases because I really love reading books. And
me too.
I remember when I was young, my mom would begin the book by saying, once upon a time. Now, what does it mean? It means it's used at the beginning of a story to mean a long time ago. So they normally use this phrase at the beginning of the book. For example, once upon a time, there was Sasha and Tammy doing a webinar. Okay, lovely. But Tammy, I think I'm forgetting something. Is there another way to use this phrase? Or is it only in books?
Well, we mostly see it in books. You mostly see it in things like fairy tales. So once upon a time, but you can say this in conversation. You could say, oh, once upon a time, I used to work at a different place than I do now. So it doesn't have to be written, but it tends to be written more than spoken. And it's always to talk about the past.
Okay, thank you very much, Tammy, for that. Okay, and find the time. This is to have to plan for time to do something. For example, I say, oh dear, Tammy, I have to find the time to study and teach on the weekends. Or I have to find the time to cook. It's been a long day. What else can we say while using find the time, Tammy?
Well, I often say I need to find the time to exercise, or I need to find the time to do my ironing. Both things I love, but sometimes other things get in the way. So we just mean we have to plan that time. We need to set some time aside because you can't really find time, but we just set time aside so we can do some things.
So basically, it's not a literal phrase. We just
no.
It's something we say, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Tammy. Okay, now it's that time where we have to ask you questions. Have you been listening? I hope so. Now, if you look at the picture, is she on time? Tammy, is she on time? What do you think?
Well, I can see the train and it looks like the train is going the other way. So I'm not sure, is she running because she's going to catch it, or is she already missed it? What do you think?
She looks like she's running as well.
She does.
So what does that mean when we run? So what does everyone think? Is she on time? Yes or no? Type down your answers or give us your answers. Okay, and here is the answer. No, She is late. As you can see, she's running after the train. Okay,
She
great.
is.
Lovely.
That's normally me.
Running after the train. Okay. And now here's the next picture. Are they using their phones at the same time? Are they using their phones at the same time? Please give us your answers. Yes or no?
So people seem to think that they are. So they may be doing different things on their phones, but they certainly all look like they are all using their phones together.
Yes, and that's correct, which everybody said, yes, they are. Great, wonderful, everyone. That was great. And the next one, this picture always makes me hungry.
Me
Food.
too.
Okay, and the question is, did she find the time to cook dinner? As you can see, she has a plate in her hands. Did she? Everyone, please tell us your answer. What do you think? Yes or no? She's holding a plate.
So people seem to think it's yes. She has food on that plate and she looks quite happy.
She does. I would be happy as well.
Yes, I think so too.
Okay, and that's correct, everyone. Congratulations. Yes, she did find the time to cook dinner. So that's the sentence we use. Okay, wonderful. Now, it is multiple choice time. I think these are really easy because you can see the answer rather than the yes or no questions. So how would the story start? Oh, Tammy?
Well, for this question, we've actually got a slightly different question for Once Upon a Time because I wanted to test our audience a little bit to see if we've been listening. And the poll was, because then if you know this, you can answer the other question. When do we use Once Upon a Time? Do we use it at the end of a story? Do we use it at the start of all stories? Or is it at the beginning of a story about things that happened a long time ago? So there is just one correct answer. And people have been listening because it's right. We don't use it for all stories. It's not used at the end of stories. It's used at the beginning of a story about things that happened a long time ago. So now I wonder if people can answer your question.
Okay, thanks very much, Tammy. Now, is it A, in a month's time, B, once upon a time, or C, on time? So how would this story start? And I can see everybody is choosing actually the correct answer, and that is B.
Yay.
Well done, everyone. You've got it all correct. Okay. And the next one, what type of job does she have? Tammy, when I look at this picture, it's quite difficult. It says she's a manager, but a manager can be full-time and part-time.
Yes. So this manager is looking like she's somebody who's very professional. So she's probably at work quite a lot of the week. So most managers are this. So what do we think it is? That she would be full-time as a manager or part-time? Which is the most common thing?
Okay, and the answers are in. That's wonderful, everyone. That's correct. Okay, so she is full-time. Okay, wonderful. And when are you going on holiday? How do we answer this one? Is it A, in a month's time, B, once upon a time, or C, on time? Could you go on time on holiday, Tammy?
No, if somebody asked you, when are you going on holiday? You wouldn't say, I'm going on holiday on time. That doesn't really make any sense.
It doesn't sound correct to me as well.
It doesn't.
Okay, so I see everyone has put in their answers and well done. Okay, and the answer is in a month's time. We use once upon a time for stories that happened a long time ago. And then you say you're on time for a meeting. Okay, but not for a trip or holiday.
No.
Okay, great. Now it's that part where I would like to remind you all, English Voice webinar subscribers, come and subscribe some more. Tell everyone and click on our subscribe button on the YouTube channel at IQ Global. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, IQ Global. Remember, you'll find loads and loads of fun and interesting videos. Okay, now I hand it over to Tammy to teach you grammar.
Yay! So I love grammar. So here we go. We're going to learn some nice time expressions now. So we've learned some vocabulary. Let's learn some grammar. So the first expression that we are going to look at. So the phrase on time is used to show that something happened exactly on the planned time. It wasn't earlier and it wasn't later. Let's look at an example. So my friend arrived for our workout on time. What does this mean? It means that her friend wasn't early and she wasn't late. Maybe she said, let's meet for our workout at 4 p.m. and her friend arrived at 4 p.m. She was exactly at the right time. So to be on time is always a good thing. And the next one. The phrase in time is used to show that something happened just before the planned time. You're not late, but you're perhaps a little early. To say you were not in time is the opposite. That means you were late. So let's look at an example of this using the negative, not in time. So we didn't arrive at the restaurant in time. They were already closed. So how would you make that into a positive sentence if you were in time? You could say, we arrived at the restaurant in time, they were still open. So that means that you arrived just before it closed. Can you think of any other examples, Sasha, where we would use this expression in time or not in time?
I arrived at school in time for my first lesson.
Perfect. Yes. What would the negative of that one be?
I didn't arrive at school in time for my first lesson.
Yes. So probably you would get into trouble. So we
my teacher would be very angry.
Yes, unless you had a good reason. So to be on time means you're on the exact time. To be in time, so you're not at the exact time, but you're possibly a little bit earlier and you're not late. So that's also a good thing. Let's look at our next phrase. So our next one. The phrase at the end is used to show that something happened right when something else ended. For example, they will go out for dinner at the end of the month. So what's happening? They're going to go out for dinner when the month has ended. So another expression you could say, at the end of this webinar, I will go and have a cup of coffee. Can you think of an example, Sasha, where we could use that phrase at the end?
Well, at the end of the day, I am going to cook a lovely meal.
Oh, fantastic. Me too, actually. That's a great one. Okay, so let's look at our next one. So we've used at the end. Now let's look at the phrase in the end. So this is used to show the result of a situation. Let's look at the example. Sorry, my laptop is a little bit slow today. I do apologize. It says the restaurant's food was terrible, but they replaced it. And in the end, everyone had a good time. We're using the phrase in the end to show the result of a situation. What was the situation? The restaurant gave them terrible food. The result, though, the situation, sorry, was the restaurant gave them terrible food. The result in the end, though, was good because they replaced the food. So the result was everyone had a good time. So now we've looked at some grammar. Let's see if we can answer these questions. So this is one we have a poll for. So which sentence is correct? Will it be, I was just in time for our meeting, or I was just on time for our meeting? Have a think about what those two expressions mean. To be in time, so you're not late, perhaps a little early. To be on time means that you have arrived exactly at the right time. So which one should it be? Let's have a look. Everyone seems to have gone for the correct answer. Let's have a look, just to double check. Here we go. It's that first one. I was just in time for our meeting. We can't be just on time, because on time means it's the exact time. So that's fine. We're not just on time. We've arrived on time. But if we're just in time, it means that we're probably a little bit early, or we're just before it's late. So that's why we can use the word just with that phrase, in time. Let's look at another example. Which of these sentences is correct? The train left in time this morning. The train left at the end this morning. Or the train left on time this morning. What do you think, Sasha? Which one of those do you think is correct?
The train left in time, left at the end this morning does not sound correct. The train left on time this morning. Did you see my eyes? The train left on time this morning.
I think so. Let's have a look. And everyone else seems to agree with you. Let's have a look. That's right. The train left on time. So the train doesn't leave in time. It doesn't leave at the end this morning. You could say at the end of the morning, but we can't say at the end this morning. That doesn't make sense. But the train left on time. So the train was meant to leave at 4 o'clock. And the train left exactly at 4 o'clock. It was on time. It left on time, which doesn't happen very often with lots of trains.
That's true.
They are very busy. Okay, so let's look at this next example. Which of these sentences is correct? The band started playing on time, or the band started playing in time? Remember what those two expressions mean. On time, what does that mean? Have a think. In time, what would a band do? Would it play on time, so they start at the exact time? Or would they be just in time? Let's have a look. Would they be in time, a little bit early? It's that first one. So well done to all those who chose that one. So the band started playing on time. This also doesn't happen when I've been to see bands play. But
I was about to say that. That is a lie.
It's not true. Maybe this is a very good band. But maybe a band is meant to start at 9 o'clock at night. And it does. It starts, the lights go on. It's very exciting. And you can say, oh, the band started playing on time. They started playing at 9 o'clock, exact time. So which of these sentences? Oh, this looks a bit like me at the end of the day. So this man, he was very tired in the end of the day. Or he was very tired at the end of the day. Let's have a look. Which one of those expressions, in the end or at the end? There we go. So he was very tired at the end of the day. So remember, we use at the end when an event, a situation has been completed. What's been completed? The day. What's the result of that? He was tired. Those two things go together. Okay. So we've also got a poll for this one, because I think this could be a bit tricky. So let's see. Again, this is our last poll, just to test our abilities. So which sentence is correct? In the end of the film, they were all crying. Or at the end of the film, they were all crying. Which one do you think makes sense? In the end or at the end? Only one of those time expressions shows that the result of a situation. Brilliant. So let's have a look at this answer, Sasha. Okay, so that would be at the end of the film, we were all crying. And Sasha and I have decided we don't want to go and see this film. No, we'd much rather go and see a film that at the end of the film, we were all laughing. But that's the result. The end of the film, the the film has been completed, sorry, and that other action was happening, they were crying.
Lovely.
Okay, brilliant. And which of these sentences is correct? So 4 flights arrived on time today, 4 flights arrived in time today, or 4 flights arrived in the end today. Now, there is a little bit of a clue in the picture. If you have a look at those flights, there is a time expression for 4 of those flights. So let's have a look at the answer. Oh,
okay, sorry about that. And there we go.
Here we go. That's okay. Technical problems today. We do apologize. So 4 flights arrived on time today. That means those 4 flights were meant to come in at a specific time, and each of those 4 flights arrived at exactly that correct time, which is always good if you are waiting for a flight and your flight has come in on time. Okay.
Great.
So quite a short session today because it's quite simple and straightforward vocabulary and grammar that we have learned. But just from this 20-25 minutes, we have learned how to say different time-related phrases, and we've learned how to use on time, in time, at the end, and in the end, which is great. And we've learned how to use these in real life situations as well.
For our daily lives.
That's true. So we do thank you so much for coming to our webinar today. And if you're watching on YouTube, please leave comments in the comments box. Please hit that like button if you have enjoyed it. We really appreciate that, and we appreciate any comments. Please visit our website, IQ Global, where you will find daily vlogs and blogs and other webinars that you can also watch available on YouTube, and a whole wealth of information on there. Lots of other things that I put on every day and every week. Click that subscribe button. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Tell others about it. Come back and visit us when there's a subject that you want to enjoy, and please share your comments and ideas. So thank you, Sasha, for being a great co-host with me today. And also, sorry, I nearly forgot this. Also, as we said, the IQ Global, just different videos and things that are available. Please click that subscribe button. You will not regret it. So thank you so much for coming today, and we hope to see you on our website and also on our YouTube videos later. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.